The
You do
only
not
thing keeping me up
understand.
is your ICT lessons.
Yes, your ICT lesson are funner than the.
Okay. Now, before we talk about the textbook exercise,
In this
we
video,
want to
I'll show you how to set up and
the
manage.
next meeting on next Friday, 11:30.
Okay.
Friday, 27. I think we should have lesson at the same time, right? Original, according to our timetable. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
According to the timetable, we should not have lesson at 3:30.
No, not 3:30. You mean these lessons?
Yes. Why
Yeah,
so
but
late today?
because in week 1 we used to have our lesson very early at 9 o'clock, and I think it would be very difficult for everyone to get up.
Thank you.
It's better to have it in the afternoon, right? But for week 2, we have lesson at 11:30. I think that is good enough, right? After you have your breakfast, then you can.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so we confirm next Friday, 27, 11:30. Okay, and today I want to finish one exercise with you together. If you go to this post, you can see a new assignment. In fact, that's not a new assignment; it's an old assignment. If you click into it and you will find a Google form, and in this Google form, the question is exactly your textbook exercise chapter 5. And why I asked you to finish this Google form today is finish one exercise. We're going to do it today. If you go to this post, you can see I'm a bit afraid that in fact that's not we may need to submit the if you click into it and you find a resumption of Google form, you know that the chief executive saying that it may not be possible to resume all the lesson on the 20th of April. So if we connect your hard copy after we resume the lesson, it may be too late, or maybe after the submission of CMR. So I think it's better for us to submit the exercise online using this Google form, especially for some of you. I know that some of you have already left your textbook at school, so they do not have the hard copy of textbook, so they cannot do the homework and submit to me after we resume the school. So I think it would be easier for everyone.
Can go to school.
Yes, you can, but no one open the classroom to you unless
No. We
go to get the books.
We break the glass first, and then you go in one by
Security
one.
guard open.
Get the book, and you come.
Okay.
If the guard come, you tell him.
Sometimes if you can find Miss Elsa Zhang, she will open the classroom for you, or you find me, I can also open the classroom for you. But you have to be very lucky, so that at the time you come back, you match us. Okay. Anyway, that is the Google form. I hope everyone can open this Google form, type in your class number, your full name, not just David or Kyle or Ivan, something like that, your full name. And then we'll finish all the questions together now, so that after the lesson, you submit this form and then you hand in one of your assignments. So at least you have one CA mark for submission. Okay?
This is so.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Sorry?
This is so.
Yes?
Smile said he can't join the Zoom lesson.
I can admit him, okay, because they come late. Okay. So at the moment, everyone was admitted to the classroom. For those latecomer, please go to the Google Classroom online tutorial 2. That is an attendance record. Take this one, and then you can find this Google form. Class number, name, and then first multiple choice question. What type of malware can replicate itself? That means to duplicate itself. And there's different types of malware. Each type of malware have its characteristic and special feature. And for web application, Worm is Worm. Worm has a special feature that it will replicate itself, Okay? And then the second question, what type of malware can control or monitor an infected computer? So that this one should be the Trojan horses. The purpose of Trojan horses is to sneak into your computer, hide somewhere in the computer, and sometimes control your computer and monitor the operation of the computer. Noisy for some of you. Are you on the switch? Sorry, boys, I have to see if I can mute. Okay. The third one, what type of malware can steal sensitive information? And that would be the spyware, that the purpose is like a spy in your company and steal those sensitive information and useful information from your computer. And the fourth question, what type of malware display advertisement? Very often this is adware. That is the name implied. Adware means advertisementware, okay? And the fifth one, which of the following is not a common distribution means of malware?
Digital camera.
Yes, digital camera. Because for all other three options, it can be connected to the computer or even connected to the internet. So once you connect to the computer or the internet, it gives a channel for the distribution of malware. But usually you would not connect a digital camera to your computer. So this is the answer. Number 6, which of the following cannot protect a computer from the threats on internet? And the answer is screensaver. This one I want to fake you because a screensaver does protect your computer, but they protect your computer monitor, but not protect your computer from threats on the internet or from those malware. For other three options, anti-spyware program, antivirus software, and firewall, they are installed for this purpose, to stop computer virus to infect your computer. So other than this one. And then we talk about the short question. For the short question, first of all, you are required to state 3 actions that antivirus software and anti-spyware software may take to handle an infected file. So it assumes that your computer has been infected. You have an infected file. What sort of things these antivirus software or anti-spyware program can do to handle this sort of infected file? You can
They
find
did remove it.
They remove it. That is one of the actions. You're required to name 3 actions. So I show
The
you,
file.
I show you the answer from the textbook, okay? If you check the textbook, there should be 1 page talking about it. Yes, it's on the textbook page 8. I scroll to page 8. Okay, you see this 3 point here. The best action, the first thing the antivirus program will want to do is, first of all, remove the malware, and then if the file was infected, it will try to repair the file, to repair it so that it can function normally. The data are all intact without any damage. That is, of course, the best way to handle. But sometimes it may not be possible. Then you'll come across another way to do it, that is to quarantining the file. I think that is a popular word nowadays. Many people who come back to Hong Kong from overseas are required to quarantine. That means they may not be able to remove the virus from the file, but they separate the file so that the file would not affect another file or infect another files or some other files in your computer. That is the second thing those antivirus program can do for you. But in fact, in case it's not possible to quarantine the file, the last resort, the last way, the last things they can do is removing the file. That means if someone gets infected and you cannot cure him, you cannot quarantine him. So the last thing you can do is to kill him, okay, so that he will not.
Mr. So,
Mr. So, don't
is
say
this the
this. No,
same
no.
case for the coronavirus?
Okay, so that is the answer. One action, the best action is repair the file by removing its malware. Second, quarantine the file. You do not need to write if action one does not work. You just write quarantining the file. And the last action is removing the file. Okay, 3 actions. I give you a few minutes, maybe I give you 1 minute to answer, to type the answer on the Google form. And then we continue on the second question.
Mr. So,
Yes.
please update us about the situation of the school.
So far, we do not have any news about the school. We still, at the moment, we still plan to open on the 20th of April.
Mr. So,
Yes.
when will the lesson end?
Sorry?
What time the lesson end?
When we finish all the questions, I hope we can finish before 4 o'clock. Okay.
School.
Okay, thank you very much.
What is gonna happen on 20th of April?
Until April, we don't know. We don't know what. You know that things are happening every day, but at this moment, the plan is on the 20th of April. But if we resume school at that day, I think it would be normal lesson.
Mr. So, what do you recommend us to do to stay safe?
Stay at home. That is the safest way to protect you. But I think it's very difficult, very boring. So that is why
I'm planning to go to China for the holiday. Should I go?
I'm going to Wuhan.
That's too bold. Let's go Italy.
Yeah, if you go, you join the rescue team.
Yeah, Italy, very good. 10,000 dead, more than that.
Italy is also another good.
We eat the Corona pizza.
But don't go yourself. Join
I'm
the
telling
rescue
you.
team.
I'm telling you, if we go to United Kingdom and
Mhm.
they have the coronavirus, it will like
Shut up,
stop
Sean.
immediately because what they're doing there is really effective. Like washing your hands to happy birthday twice is like the best idea ever. Like,
It's 20 seconds. That's why.
yeah, you can just say no to like basically, I don't know,
Shut up, Sean.
lockdown that you're sitting.
Shut up, Sean. Shut up. Shut
Shut
up,
up,
Sean.
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 Go shut up.
Okay.
No one
you.
wants to talk to you. Shut up, Sean.
Okay.
Gosh,
Question
shut
2.
up.
Otherwise, we cannot finish before 4.
Did I ask? Gosh.
Question 2A. What are malicious websites? Okay, malicious websites are those websites that will have that will contain malware or malicious codes. Anyway, you should find the answer directly from the textbook for this question. I show you the textbook page. I think it's on page 6. So we go back to page 6. Here you see the answer. Malicious website is state that malicious website, the definition is refer to one's
Malicious.
containing malware or malicious codes. When a person visits one of such websites, the computer that he or she is using may get infected. Okay, so
It's 20 seconds.
it's short
That's why.
paragraph, and that is the answer directly. Put it down on the Google form.
So,
Hmm?
do we need to copy the second sentence?
I think the second sentence is just an elaboration. If you just want to stick to the definition, the first one is okay.
So, no need to copy the second one on the form.
Mr.
No,
So, Mr. So,
you
Mr.
don't.
So,
Yes.
can you show me the answers again? I accidentally
Yes,
deleted
answer.
my
So-
Google
Shut up,
Form.
Matthew.
It's on the screen.
Shut up, Matthew. Shut up.
Shut up, Matthew.
Oh wait, I got it back. I got it back. Okay.
Oh my.
A website, one word or two words?
Shut up, Sean.
Shut up, Sean. Damn it. Shut
7 words.
up.
I will accept both.
How about three?
Shut up. Thank you, Mr. So. You are so helpful.
Okay. Then move on to question 2B.
No, no, what? I'm not finishing. I'm not finished.
Shut
I'll
up,
show
Matthew.
you after you
Shut
finish
up.
the lesson. Okay, I'll show you again. Don't worry. I can stay after 4.
Yes,
No.
Matthew. Thanks,
Okay,
Matthew.
Stage 2 method that can reduce the chance of visiting a malicious website accidentally. It means accidentally. You are not intentionally want to join those websites. Assume that you don't want to have it. And how can you avoid
Use safe
accidentally
browsing tool.
visit those websites? And there's 2 answers. I try to answer for you.
Set up firewall.
Yes, one of the answers is firewall. Another one is you use safe browsing tools. In fact, on the internet, there's a few websites let you search the information about another website, about other websites, and they will tell you that whether that website is reliable or whether the content is okay or not. There's no such website. And so you use this sort of what we call safe browsing tool, safe browsing tools, to check whether a website is safe. That is one method. Another method, you mentioned that is set up a firewall to lock malicious websites. Okay, so 2 methods. And later on, we'll talk about a bit more about firewall. So first, answer this question, 2A. I give you 1 minute. Okay, then we have question 3. Question 3 is about firewall. State 2 common configuration of firewall rule. Configuration means set up, 2 ways to set up a firewall. And in the textbook, there's 1 page talking about firewall. That is on page 9. Here. Okay. Now, first of all, many students are quite confused about what is a firewall. Some of them think that it's a software. Some of them think that it's a hardware. In fact, it can be both. It can be a software or a hardware. If you are a home user, you may not have enough money to buy a hardware firewall. So you get some free software or you pay a few $100 to get a software which do the job of a firewall.
Is
Of
the
course,
firewall
Hmm?
is the firewall hardware a wall made out of fire?
No. Okay, so in this case, the protection of this firewall may be very limited. But for large corporations like the Cathay Pacific or many international company, they will install a dedicated server, a special server. That means that is a special computer which run a very sophisticated software which helps you, which protect you from malware during your internet access. And for this sort of firewall, it may cost you $500,000 or 200,000 a year. For example, LaSalle College, we have a hardware firewall. That means we have a special computer who run a special firewall software, and it costs the school about 20 to 30,000 a year.
Oh, so expensive.
So expensive, sir.
Okay, so if we employ this sort of hardware firewall, of course, because the computer is more powerful and it only focuses on scanning the incoming and outgoing files, so the efficiency will be much higher and would have higher protection. Okay, and we talk about the configuration. You see that at the last paragraph, the textbook states that a firewall rule can be configured in many different ways to restrict network traffic. Through commonly configured to enable exception. One, for services that are allowed to be accessed from the internet or other computer network. And two, for computers that are permitted to pass through the firewall from outside network. And many of you answer question 3, answer this question. They will simply copy the answer from the textbook. So 1 for service that are allowed, 2 for computer that are permitted. Then you get the wrong answer. In fact, not wrong, but exactly the opposite answer. You have to pay attention that this is the keyword. Configured to enable exception. That means except these two cases, not in these two cases. So if you have a look of the whole things together, the configuration, the setup is to restrict network traffic. Okay, restrict network traffic, I think everyone will understand. That's good. But for what sort of network traffic we're going to restrict? For computers that are permitted to pass through, it seems doesn't make sense, right? If those computers are permitted to pass through, if those servers are allowed to be accessed, it should not be restricted, right? So the trick is on these two words. The meaning is we were going to set up the firewall to restrict everything we do not know, everything which have potential threat to our computer, except to enable exception means except. We restrict everything except those are permitted to get through, those allowed to be accessed. Okay, so remember when you answer the question, remember to include these 4 words. Configured to enable exception for service that allowed it, 1 point. Another point, configured to enable exception for computer that are permitted. Okay.
Can you type it out?
Sorry?
Can you type it?
Sorry.
So what is the last question answer?
Can you type the answer?
Can you spoon feed us the answer?
I think you have to type this one, exactly. Because in fact, for ordinary user, we don't expect you to know how to configure a firewall. It's the IT technician's job. But anyway.
So it's which one?
This
Which one is
last paragraph.
The whole thing?
2 points. Config, starting from here. Config to enable exception for service. That is one way. Second way, config to enable exception for computers that are permitted. Okay. So that is the text exercise for chapter 5. After you type in the answer, you submit the Google form, then you no longer need to submit the hard copy, so that you have one submission before we come back come back to school on the 20th of April. Any other question? If you don't have question, then remember the next lesson will be next Friday on 11:30. And if you have submitted the Google form, you may leave the classroom, okay? You may leave the classroom.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Can you show that one more time, please?
Sorry? Joshua, you have any problem?
Joshua!
Oi, Joshy.
Mr. So, do you miss us?